Hello everybody, it's your host Kai, and today we're going to talk about learning and development, two skills that go hand in hand. So first of all, we're going to talk about why learning is so important. So in this instance, we have chosen the Cornish culture with King Dumnarth, who has a learning of 19. He has excellent skill, and he has just a couple provinces. So he is the head of the culture for the Cornish, and he has full control of how he decides what he wants to research. In this case, with the learning just by itself, you see that we can discover the Mott's 46 years without touching it. And this also contributes based on the average development of your territories. So if you have 3 fully developed territories and that's it, and culture, you're going to learn very fast, especially if you keep it small. You can expand your culture outward, but keep in mind every time you expand out your culture, you're going to take a hit to your development unless that province is fully developed. In this case, we're going to take Casus Belli. It's expected to be discovered in 411 years. But if we manually select it, based on our learning, it's expected to be done in 35 years. It's based on development once again, and our fascination. So how do you speed this up, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. We'll go into learning tree. Learning has this most important thing called scientific. The very first point, you get plus 35% cultural fascination progress. Then the next one that's vital is your increased development and county efficiency. What this means is I'm going to have this guy here develop the county in 5 years. You can speed this up further by, for example, taking this tree that increases growth by 15%. And if you pick Scholar, you get an additional 15% development. So you get 30%, which is huge. So as you can see, we're going to speed up the time here. Just get through this 1 month, make sure it updates. So in this case, it didn't update. And the reason why is it's based on, first of all, his stewardship skill sucks. Let's just put it this way. You see the planned cultivation, you see the existing development. All these modifiers play into that. Had this guy had a higher stewardship, it'd be better. So let's see. We just cut that down. It went up by 0.3 or 4. So you want to have a steward that's really good and help beef this up. It works in harmonious balance with this tree. So why learning is so important is it speeds up your point of research. He has a very good learning, but we're going to show you what would happen if we had somebody else with good learning. So in this case, we have a created heir that has 32 learning from Genius. He's got some wonderful attributes, and he's got Mastermind Philosopher. So let's see what happens if he does this. So remember, you had 411 years for Casus Belli. You have 35 years. But we haven't. So remember, it was about 35 years. We have not taken scientific yet. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, let's look at your change out. 25 years to research this. So you shaved off 10 years. Your cultural fascination is directly tied to your learning and your lifestyle trees. So right here, this is huge. So you want to make sure that you're always progressing your development tech. The next part of this is through development itself. Right now we only have 5 development. So when we get back here in just a moment, I will show you what happens if we increased our development. Okay, so we're back. So we did a little bit of tweaking here. So with our development, we're going to run this real quick. Let it update. We went to 20 development. We'll go ahead and go back to here. Look at that. So with an average development of 20, just these two provinces, we went down from 25 years to 14 years to research it. And we have even some of these that are 26 years and some are 35 years. So easily, if this guy were to live right now, I could easily get maybe 2 or 3 of these selected completed in no time. So what happens, you say, if it was 40 development? So now that we've done 40 development, we're going to run this one more time again. Let the stats update. Keep in mind we just have 2 provinces, an average of 40 development. And look at that. We are now 9 years of research based on the average development of our Cornish counties of 40%, strictly just for these 2 counties. Now, how do you want to... The next question is, so, okay, this is all nice and all, so how do we raise it? Well, there's different things. First of all, you got your scholarship focus plus 15. You get a holy site if you're Catholic with Rome. And then also, there's a whole slew of different perks here that will help speed it up. Certain buildings in city planning will raise your trading. For example, I could choose trade ports here, for example. That's 5% development growth. Once I max it out, that's 40% development growth. So each of these bonuses, and there's several of them, that will stack and help improve your town. This is another one. It's 2% development bonus. Not very big, but it adds up. And as you get more buildings, there's a lot more you can do. Because of his proximity to Devon at 40, he is getting a +4 by itself monthly growth. So if he were to work that even further, it would actually help him out significantly. So the next part is we can develop this county, but because of how high our development is, we take already a 1.46 penalty. How you alleviate this is, once again, the research under public works, and then of course in the later trees, say coinage, you get 10% development. And we gotta relook at that real quick. This one, communal government, now I get a whopping 35, and this is in East Medieval or early medieval. Next thing, you go to high medieval. You can go through this. Development, growth, and banking, and urbanization. High medieval era, 55. So this is how you continuously increase it. And then finally, late medieval, you have Renaissance that lets you develop to 90. And then you have another 10%. And by then you have all these buildings stacked up that you can tech very, very fast. So you're asking me, well, what do I do to get more learning? Or what's beneficial? So let me show you exactly how you can speed this up. So in this case, I went ahead and picked up Scholar, another 5 learning, 25% more development. He'll still be penalized for this early development. But if this was still, for example, so we dropped this, for example, down to 10. Now I can go back to the guy, 21 months. We're going to speed this up real quick just to show you what changed. So first of all, we lost some time. We still have a high development from here. But keep in mind, because of our learning ability, he has 45 now. He gets some from his councils, which we'll go over the skill tree in just a moment. And if I want to up the ante on this, let's go find somebody with learning. There you go. We'll grab her. Watch this. So now we have a queen with 12 learning to give to me. She can further enhance my learning to 57. Now, just to make it even more crazy, we may have lost some development 10 years, but we're at a fascination of now 107. So we can research really fast, and this offsets the development. So if, for example, we'll do this again. Let's go ahead and take our development, and you're going to see what happens. You're going to see that our taxes has raised substantially based on the development. So development and learning definitely go hand in hand. You would think development's more a stewardship, but not necessarily. So ideally what you want to do is keep your culture small and only develop high provinces that are going to have good development if you're focused on speed teching. If you're not worried about speed teching, then go to your heart's content and just focus on your learning. One thing I will say is tribal, they still are affected by development, not so much in the money, but if your culture is tribal and you have 20 development here and a high learning, you're going to tech up all your research much quicker. And we're going to go ahead and run through each one of our learning. So as you know, the scholar is all about your teching up faster, your development of your kingdom, and of course this one gives you 20% more of your skills from your counselors, so having good counselors helps. But what you don't know is we have the whole body. This tree here helps keep you alive. It's extremely, extremely important to have this. If you want to have a long reign with an early ruler with good learning, take this tree. You won't regret it. First one, Anatomical Studies, just lowers the cost of hiring a court physician. Carefree means you gain less stress and certain incidents or something that goes against your core values. Restraint, this helps increase your longevity if you embrace celibacy and are not worried about having kids. Wash your hands. This reduces your chance of getting illnesses and reduces the chance of your court getting illnesses. Iron Constitution means you have less disease hitting your fertility and also reduce the chance of you getting pneumonia, flu, or even is dying so much to the Black Plague when it gets here finally. Know Thyself. This is very important. This lets you know that you have 1 year left before you pass away and your heir takes over. So if you have any last minute changes you need to do, now is the time to do it. Mental resilience. This helps you from starting to pick up bad traits with mental breaks. So it gives you more time to get your stress down. And then healthy gives you a medium boost to your longevity. So if you wanted to increase your longevity, take this, healthy, and then you want, finally, your whole body increases your health even further, gives you less stress and more fertility. What this means is you could easily have a 70, 80, 90-year-old ruler, especially if you're focused on learning, and all you wanted to do is tech to develop your country's research, to have better troops, better buildings. And then finally, you have theology, which is all about improving relations with the clergy, speeding up the progress to convert counties to your faith. You have religious relation efficiency. This is another counselor option. This reduces the time it takes to convert a county if that county's faith has higher fervor than your own. Church and state, this gives you better realm priest opinions. Prophet is probably the most important one if you're ever going to reform your religion or make your own religion. It's minus 50% piety cost to change stuff. So whereas you've seen probably people play Norse playthroughs to get reform and it cost them 10,000 piety, this would cut this down even further. So it's very important to take if you're going to do any reform. Level impact is 100%, so you get more bonuses as your piety levels increase. Venerate faith, less tyranny gain, same faith opinion. And then finally, last but not least, you have theologian that gives you +3 more learning, 20% more piety. It's a nice tree to have, but not necessary. These two trees are the most important if you're going to focus on teching your technology up and developing your provinces. So this is just kind of a quick overview. Clans, or tribes, I should say, still have one little caveat. When they raid, they have a chance to send people back to the capital to develop their capital. That helps them, especially if they're teching up early on. And it's a great way to develop your provinces. You may have to move your capital a couple times if you can to keep developing it, or go to medieval and start researching it that way and develop it. There's no wrong way to do this, and we'll see what Royal DLC changes. But if you like the learning guides, you like seeing this, please smash the like button, comment down below. It really helps the algorithm and helps YouTube recommend my videos. And I will have more guides coming soon and some Let's Plays. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of this community, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.